Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Karen, Lavender Clothesline, and in today's video we're going to do part 2 of the community-wide yard sale that I went to. So in the prior video I did part 1, but the video footage was so long and the second half was so good I figured I'd make 2 videos out of it. So if you're new here, my name is Karen, Lavender Clothesline, here on YouTube, also on eBay and Instagram. I'm a full-time reseller and I support myself this way. I just turned 61, so happy birthday to me. I've been thrifting and reselling for a little over 8 years now and just having a really good time doing it. Tons of work, tons of profit, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I am really looking forward to growing old doing this same thing, maybe picking up smaller items than I am now. But in today's video, we're going to do part 2 of the community-wide thrift sale. This is where I went to Hers Park. So Hers Park is a community park in Landisville, and they allow a big area to be used for the community-wide thrift sale, yard sale, all of that. It's not really a thrift sale, it's a yard sale, but a lot of the people there pick up their items at thrift stores, so we find great things. So hit that like and subscribe button, follow along, and I will show you what that looks like. I will also most likely do a whole video at the end to show you exactly what I picked up at the yard sale. Now, I did not come home, spoiler alert, with carloads like I usually do at the Memorial Day sale, but I still found some really good items. All right, let's get going. Let's take a look at this footage and also the haul video. Thanks so much for watching. And here I'm just about to enter Hers Park, which is a community park that was built by the community. This park hosts different events, and one of the events is the twice-a-year yard sale, Labor Day and Memorial Day. So as you can see, the line is long. This is very well attended. In the years past, there were a lot of vendors that were more like, I don't know, sellers of new items and different things that really didn't fit into what I was looking for, but today I can tell is a true yard sale day. Not to say there won't be like antique dealers and things like that, but I am really excited for this shopping trip, and I did quite well. So following this video, I will be giving you a haul of what I found over the course of the day. Now, like I said, I did not find as much as Memorial Day, but still found some pretty good things to flip for a profit. So as you can probably already tell, very well attended, lots of vendors, lots of food, and I am trying to find a way into this place. People still setting up, even though I probably got here, I'm going to say about 10 o'clock. So here I just jumped up on a picnic table bench to give you a scope of what the place looks like. And this is what I like to see, a lot of different type of items and people just putting things on tables, you know, no real special setup. All right, let's get started. So the first thing I pick up is this horse-mounted figurine statue. And once again, please forgive my finger in the shot. This little GoPro, I don't know. As you can tell, there are a few dealers like these people here, but I always love looking at this type of artwork. It helps educate my eye, even if I don't plan to buy in with somebody like that. But if I was decorating my house or needed to decorate a house, I would definitely shop this way. And this is pretty much how I've decorated my house, with secondhand finds. Bird cages are just beautiful. I don't think I've ever owned a bird, but I am very attracted to different bird cages. I just like the aesthetic of it. So I'm starting out at this booth. I do see Longaberger basket. I'm not over picking those up, but like I said in a prior portion of the video, I really look for the Longaberger baskets that are special. There were a few pieces here I did look at that wasn't on camera. I cut that part of the film, and the prices were too high. A $1 each item on the table, so of course I look, and that basket had damage on the bottom. I like when a dealer has all different price points. So I'm trying not to miss a thing. I'm going to be skirting back and forth across the pathway. I could have taken a couple of more hours in this place, but I tried to move as quickly as possible because of the amount of people that were here. I never want to lose something because I took too much time with something else. I thought these tables were great. So here I'm coming to linens on a display rack, and right away this towel is catching my eye and this satin pillowcase. I love this aesthetic. KD handprints, pure linen, $2. That's a find. So this is the first find at Hers Park, and I grab it. Anything that you can use Aztec or tribal with, I still do well with those keywords. Those keywords draw a lot of attention. Anybody need a wrench? How many wrenches does one man buy? So now I'm on to looking at this table. I liked these brass pieces, and I wasn't quite sure what they were. I thought maybe they were horse race prizes or some kind of horsing thing. Here is a pie plate. I'm not quite sure what that first word says. Might say crockery. Put it down, pick it up. There was a little glitch there in my brain, but definitely want this dish. Now, if I can't find who made it or, any kind of branding, I'm not worried about it. The aesthetic of this rack was gorgeous. This is Sacred Threads. I have carried that clothing before. I would love to buy big amounts of that clothing. I think it's beautiful. I love this flax ecru. Ecru is the color, linen type of look. Prairie, just minimalist, beautiful. Look at those buttons. And at some point, it turns very quickly from reselling to I want all of this in my closet. I don't know that this would do anything for me. I think I look better in bright colors, but I do start to talk to the vendor. She wanted $6 for this blouse. The only problem was very small size. And I asked her, was there any way that she could get larger sizes? Now, normally this blouse would not be $6 new. I think she was just trying to clearance them out. Maybe I should have picked that up, but I thought the size was not good for resale. I could be wrong about that. Here's another bird cage. It's just pulling me in. I'm not quite sure what else you would do with that. Maybe display china. That would be fun to see different repurpose ideas with bird cages besides putting birds or floral decor. A lot of people put different floral decor in them. And while that's pretty, I don't know that that's what my mind is thinking of. I think I would really like to see some kind of china setup in a bird cage. So a lot of times, even if something is not really catching my attention, I like to zero in on tables so that you guys can get a sense of being at the fair. Here I'm noticing that the aisles are marked. I so appreciate this because you don't know how many fairs and flea markets I go to where you have no sense of what aisle you've been on or where you're going. So very appreciative. Here I found this bin of ties, $1 each, 10 for 5. And right away my mind went to Casey Rockstar Flipper because he has done amazing selling ties. I don't know if he's still carrying ties, but anytime I see ties, I think of Casey. I wanted to buy this whole bin and send it to him, but I did not. There's a beautiful kimono on the ground and a rack of scarves. I pick up scarves that are silk, hand-rolled, vintage, clean condition, and with the name, here's one of the names I pick up, Vera. Now this one is a tablecloth, but I do very well with vintage scarves from Vera. So because I saw that tablecloth, that reminded my mind to keep looking for Vera scarves. One time I was in the Goodwill bins and I found something like 20 of them and they were in pristine condition. It was like jackpot. I did really well with those scarves. So you want to remember that name, V-E-R-A. You can look it up. Here I'm noticing this dog print. Now these are dogs peeing against a wall, and these are made out of cardboard. I believe the artist's name was Boris something. Nope, I'm wrong. The back one was signed. I bought a framed lithograph. I believe it was like an original, and found it in Goodwill. And I was with a friend and they said, oh, please tell me you're not going to buy that. $175, I believe it brought. Love these lamps. $170 for the pair. Goth, medieval, just great for certain houses, the big old Victorian houses. But I do not want to ship those lamps, and $170 was more than I'd be willing to pay. The pears in a bag on the ground caught my attention. I think somebody must have had a pear tree. Just looking at a nursery rhyme print. Truthfully, a yard sale like this can be very overwhelming. There is a lot to look at. When I go with another person, if I, have somebody with me, much easier. But with filming today, I am sure I passed up a lot of things. One thing I was interested in were these shaker boxes. We have quite a few of these in Pennsylvania. I do try to pick them up. He wanted $25. So that's probably an average online eBay price, but not good for buy-in. Always lots of longer burger. This booth caught my attention. This is just enough setup to draw you in, but you don't feel like his prices are going to be overpriced. The artwork in the background was gorgeous. If you see, there's a bird made out of feathers from Mexico leaning up against his van. Sorry I didn't zero in on that more. Very much trying to navigate the crowd and not be in anybody's way. Sometimes when a booth has a crowd, I try not to pass it up. I try to stick it out, but with filming, I think I would really be bothersome to people if I didn't just keep moving. I do wind up going back to that booth and getting a few things. Sometimes it's a little bit hard, truthfully. I want to shop for myself. I want to leave all the packages in the car, just carry money in my pocket, and just go up and down the aisles and shop for myself without filming, without looking for resale. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that. So we all know these guys. Look how young they were. Just beautiful. Beautiful shot too. Whatever photographer, whoever captured that. Again, food scent in the air, funnel cakes, just all kinds of French fries, different things that they had. Years ago, when my family was young, we would go to the Apple Festival, it was called, and they had all kinds of different booths, and it was just such good eating. I would get there very early in the morning. This was before I was reselling, and I just enjoyed being able to pick up for my own use and eat whatever I want. And I think we used to eat something called apple puffs or apple something. It was almost like a fried donut with apple in it. Oh, so good. This woman selling her wares. I don't know if people that knit and crochet, make any kind of profit for the time that they put into items. But I love seeing good needlework, crochet and knitted things, and just beautiful. Little red chair was adorable. There were quilts on the ground there. I did go back and look at those. Those were mass produced, probably for like Pennies or Sears, but they had a pretty look to them. But the woman wanted, I think, $60, and that, again, a little high to pay for something that's mass produced. If you find a handmade quilt, especially vintage, and it's well done and in decent condition, you know, they can sell for hundreds, if not thousands, so the buy-in price, $60, would be a good deal. Okay, a few years back, I sold almost the same swan in black. And this might have been a mistake not to pick this one up in white, but I thought the black one brought the price it did. Guys, I think I got, I want to say it was 200 or 400. I got a lot of money for that swan. That's all I remember. And I felt like mine sold well because it was black. So I was talking to the owner of it. Maybe I should have bought that white swan. That might have been a mistake. It would be smart of me as a businesswoman to try to get people's business cards if they have antique booths or stores, in case my mind remembers something and it wound up not selling, that I could give them a call, you know, if I second guess after I've left. Okay, so this is a table I love. Lots to see, lots of different type of items. That was a plastic dish, fooled me. I'm starting to see these brass eagles and this brass egg on a pedestal. This is the scripture, those that wait upon the Lord. And I'm looking at these, trying to act casual because I know I want these, and I'm asking the gentleman what he would like for them. Okay, so I've circled around and come back to the vendor with the orange car or orange van. And I knew that I would probably be buying at this booth, even though I hadn't prior seen anything. And here we have the first piece that I'm looking at, $10, framed needlework. I'm just going to start calling all of this needlework. Crewel. I'm going to call this one crewel. That's what it looks like to me. $10, and I thought this was fantastic. And I'm looking to see if I can bundle, if I can find another piece. And sure enough, right away, I find this piece of gorgeous pottery. You can see the name there. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nemja. So now I'm starting to talk to the gentleman a little bit and to see if there is a third piece. So I did make a couple of purchases from that gentleman, and stay tuned for the whole video to see what I bought. This is my pillow. Naps are everything. I am a very big nap taker, but most times my naps are under 10 minutes. Once in a while, I fall into a deep coma sleep and just get the sleep of a lifetime, but then wake up not knowing what day it is. Do you guys ever do that? You're so tired, you just instantly fall asleep and go into a deep coma sleep, and then when you wake up, it's like, what day is this? Kind of wonder if you've slept through. I thought for a second that that box might be tramp art. Tramp art is an art where scraps of material are used. A lot of times they were made in prison, and you know, the people had a lot of time on their hands, so they were able to secure different pieces, mostly wood, and create beautiful boxes out of them. Those are highly sought after. I've been lucky enough to find one or two and did very well with them. I'll try to insert photos here of tramp art. Usually when I'm walking through a flea market, I can spot whether it's going to be a table I want to look at or not, what type of prices they're going to have. I'm sure you guys can do the same thing. It's one thing that I miss about living in the Northeast during the winter. The weather, you just don't get sales like this. Now, you do find indoor sales, in schools and things like that, which I try to get to. But there is nothing like shopping outside with this kind of space. Here, this gentleman on the left was playing a beautiful song on the guitar. I believe it was a Beatles song. And I could not record it because it is trademarked, of course. He also sold cigar box guitars, and I think he was making them. So that's really interesting. I thought this powder horn was very interesting, but I didn't know that anybody would want it with Argentina marked. If it was just the painted graphic without the word Argentina, I probably would have picked that up. I liked this die cut, maybe. I don't know if die cut is the correct term. Napkin holder, letter holder. A little bit thick in the wood for the style, a little bit too country. If the wood was thinner, I would have bought that. When you see that honey kind of wood in the real chunky style, kind of 70s, it's a harder sell for me rather than if that napkin holder was a thin, oh, a butterfly went by. If that napkin holder was a thin dark wood, that I would have definitely picked up. I wasn't sure who owned this booth. These people were shoppers, and they just stood in the middle of the space, and I was trying to navigate around them. This was an interesting set of bookends. They had some damage though, and they came from Goodwill. She left the Goodwill sticker on. This is a food dog, I believe, Chinese dragon, IKEA. I knew that that was new, but I did not know that that was IKEA. Again, I'm trying to get past these people, but they're not having any of it.
I think that was just random thing, but you may certainly have that.
The vase with the puffy paint floral thing is catching my attention. Little brass owl. And that vase was very interesting. I'm hoping I zoomed in on it, but a little bit. So now I'm trying to work my way around, the other way around the people. And again, I don't think that they're catching on that I'd like to shop. Belt buckles are always a yes for me. I always look at belt buckles. I'm looking for Western, unique, vintage, definitely Eagles, Harley Davidson, all of those types. Time to look at more clothing. Now, I always like to see a half price sale, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be something that I pick up. In a flea market like this, if it's good vintage clothing, I'll pay $10 or $15 a piece if it's really good. Embroidered, silk, all of the good signals, but that rack did not have anything other than Alfred Dunner, brands that are sold in discount stores, those type of things. And I have to say that Alfred Dunner, even though it's considered, a less expensive brand, doesn't bring a lot of profit brand, some of the prints on Alfred Dunner, I have to say, are a thing. Sometimes I pick it up, I'm like, oh, I bet you that's Alfred Dunner. And sure enough, it is, but they have some good prints, I have to say. I am just getting so old. When you start wanting to wear Alfred Dunner clothing, you have arrived in life. Depression glass is something that I don't pick up a lot of. not that I'm that knowledgeable, but depression glass to me is so saturated. Unless you have some really rare, amazing pieces, they seem to be a dime a dozen. Okay, I missed those Oriental or Asian, Oriental is correct, I think, framed pieces of embroidery. They were $80, but I should have zoomed in on those because I'm really trying to learn more and more about Asian textiles, Oriental textiles. I know it would be a ton of work, but sometimes I think it would be very fun to do this fair, for me to, but I would want like to set up thousands of items and just make them like $2 each. I don't know that I'd make any profit, but that sounds like fun to me. Am I the only person that a massive amount of work sounds like fun? My poor kids, growing up, when my kids were growing up, I would talk them into these different projects that were a massive amount of work. And they willingly joined in, but by midway, they would look at me like, you are a crazy person. We have done things like bake thousands of cookies. What else have we done? Oh, just on and on. So much work. But sometimes a lot of work is fun if it's something that you love doing. We always had a good time. I think there was a lot of eye rolling going on during it, but we really enjoyed being together. And to this day, we're very close. So as you know, I'm trying to learn more about toys, but specifically box games. So my plan when I want to learn about something is just keep letting my eye go over a lot of box games and then run comps on anything that my brain picks out. Now, a lot of times it's just common things, but to me, you know, unless it's a special Monopoly or a special version of something, you know, if something's prolific, it's not worth it. Okay, this was the sad miss of the day. I should have bought this. I don't remember how much they wanted for that. When a plug looks like that, it doesn't bother me. It's just telling me that the piece is very old, and I always tell the buyer they need to rewire. I thought this was very good, and somehow I don't know what the disconnect was. Definitely should have bought that. Maybe that lamp will turn up at the Memorial Day sale. Okay, this is just a scary, scary mask. Very crudely carved. Not sure what those eyeballs were made out of. Okay guys, so in this part of the video, I'm just going to turn the camera around and give you a little peek at what I wound up picking up at the yard sale. This is from both parts of the yard sale, so part 1 and part 2. And I think we have enough items to go through it quickly. All right, let's turn the camera around. Let's see what I actually bought. Okay, so this is a good amount of this stuff that I got. There are some extra things, just bread and butter things, but I just wanted to fit in a little bit of a haul to show you what type of items I wound up picking up at the yard sale. So you guys did see this on film. This is the stadium seating. Truthfully, I have not checked a comp yet because I've been so busy. But these are in really great shape, and at $2 a piece, to me this is a no-brainer. I would always pick this up. I will just put this in a poly mailer and it's ready to go. So none of this stuff is listed yet. If you see anything you want, when you guys see a haul of mine, you always say, hey, you know, I don't see that listed in your store. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I'm trying. The next item that I wanted to show is these two plates. This is Tonala Pottery, and right now I'm noticing a little bit of a ding. I would have bought it anyway. That might have happened when I carried it home or even carried it through the yard sale. I love these plates. Now, when I found these, I'm not sure if I caught this on film because I haven't looked at the footage yet. I'm actually doing this haul first before the voiceover. I saw a big plate with it, and the big plate did have some damage, but I went ahead and asked the buyer if she would take, you know, the two plates separate, like, you know, if she would sell them, I should say, and she said yes, so I picked them up. Tonala Pottery comes from Tonala, Mexico, And I love finding the figurines, you guys know, so I said yes to this. Here are the two dolls. They are actually attached together. Looks like they're just banded together. I think this is a little fuzz or something on it. And it says, like mother, like daughter. So I picked those up. Not really high profit, but I couldn't leave those behind. I love dangly legs. I don't like my legs to dangle, but I really like dangly leg dolls. That's what I call them. Not sure. I'm pretty sure these, not sure, pretty sure these are handmade. Doesn't necessarily mean handmade in USA, but it looks like they are hand stitched. When you see stitching like this is not machine done. These are hand done. Here are the 6 US Open hats, really clean condition. I will still wipe these off. I will not wash them. And that's what that looks like. Paid 50 cents a piece. And again, I have not checked comps on these yet. All right, a piece of pottery. I will write on the screen if I remember what this pottery is called. They wanted $10 for it. That was the vendor's price. And along with this pot, you can see it's quite dirty. I haven't cleaned any of this yet. The gentleman also had this needle point, right guys? Crewel work, whatever. I'm trying. So we had a price tag of $10 on the framed needlework and $10 on the pot. I asked him if he would take 15 for the 2, and he said sure. So let's figure $7.50 a piece. Here is that blouse that I picked up, embroidered, not a high-end name. I normally do not pick up this name, but I felt like the embroidery is going to carry this. So for the $2, I'm thinking I'll probably get 12 to 14 for this. That's just a guess. Here is the scarf that the, I think it was a mother and son, no, it was a husband and wife, were saying, hey, you're selling that scarf? I think she had paid more money for it than he realized. 100% cashmere, hand-tailored, really beautiful. So this will be a hard one not to keep myself. I have quite a few scarves, but I'm always drawn to a good warm cashmere scarf because I freeze in the winter, and I would pick this up every time. Okay, I think these are the find of the day. 2 bookends with the scripture, which is a very popular scripture. This is Isaiah 40:31. And these are brass eagles on a green marble. I'm pretty sure this is marble base. And just beautiful. He wanted $20 for them, and I offered him $15, and he took it. So I was really thrilled to find this find. I will report back on Instagram when these sell to let you know what kind of money these brought. Next up is just a linen kitchen towel. Does it have a name on it? It does, hand printed by somebody. I can't even read it. It's a little bit blurry. Seems to be new, never washed at least, and I paid $2 for it. I was hoping that they had more of these. Oh, here's the sticker right here. I could look at the sticker and read it. KD handprints. So this was made in something, Rhode Island. 100% pure linen, beautiful. If I could get 100 of these, I would pick them up at $2 a piece without even question. I love this kind of print. Okay, now for a couple of pairs of shoes. This is just a pair of Guess. I do not normally pick up Guess in the thrift store because most shoes in my thrift store, the basic price is $7.47, but there is the reason I picked them up. 50 cents, and they're in beautiful shape. So because my buy-in is so low, I will go ahead and do these. Very easy to ship, photograph, and there's no cleanup basically with these. I might give them a wipe down. Again, $1. And these are Lukey's. I've never heard of Lukey's that I remember anyway. Pair of women's sandals, really clean condition for $1. You know, how can you go wrong? Unless shoes are like really worn out or dirty or like Kmart or no name, then I would not pick them up. But anything with any kind of branding that's fairly well made, I will go ahead and pick up for $1. The last pair of shoes are Zune or Zuni, and I'm not crazy that they wrote the price on the box. That's a little bit hard. I might just blacken that out. Not quite sure about that. But I did pick up these shoes because look at the construction on these. These are an all leather shoe, women's size 7, and I really liked these because they are leather. It's almost like it's a walking shoe, but it really has a lot of style to it, I'm gonna say. It's an Oxford with a whip stitch. I think this stitching is called whip stitch, and I really like them, very clean condition. So $3, yes. And the last item is this piece of pottery, and I don't remember where I got this. It's probably in the film, in the footage, and it looks like it says CL UK, I don't know what that says, pie plate. I'm going to have to try to use a magnifying glass to figure out what this says. Klugfly, Klee, I have no idea, but $5. I said yes to it. Again, a flea bite chip right there, but I don't think it's going to detract from it that much. And that's why I picked it up. All right, so that is a small haul with just some of the more interesting pieces. Now, this was a very small pickup for me, but I will always do yard selling because the buy-in price is so low. All right, everyone, so that is the video for today. Leave a comment down below of what your favorite item was, even if I missed it by looking through the camera. Sometimes when I'm thrifting or yard selling, I could miss quite a few things because I'm so busy looking at the footage of what I'm filming that sometimes I can miss things. All right, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Go out and get what's yours.